Hi guys, welcome to another watercolor tutorial. We're painting another fall scene. I'm assuming, hoping, planning for this to be released in October, so hopefully it'll still be relevant. So we're gonna start in portrait position, and I've got blue on my paintbrush, but it's way too pigmented. And I'm gonna go ahead and cover probably like the top half, maybe a little bit below the top half, and just gonna cover it like this. And what I'm gonna do, what am I gonna do? I am going to switch brushes to a slightly smaller one, and then I want to add like cloud formations or just blobs, and then because we're doing wet on wet, it'll fade into the background. And I'm gonna take, I would have taken black, but brown was already on my palette. So I'm taking a bit of brown and dropping that in there. I have to kind of help it fade out because I do not possess this natural ability to have colors fade out like I see in some people's paintings. I mean, you can keep going until you're happy with what you see in front of you. And I think I'm happy with how this is as I keep adjusting it. I don't know why I'm spending so much time on this. Half of this is going to be covered up anyway. So I'm going to let this totally dry before moving on to the next step. Okay, so for the next part of this painting, we're going to paint the bottom portion. So I'm going to switch to a bigger brush once more, and I'm going to pick up yellow. And I'm going to drop the yellow on the right side in sort of a triangular shape because we're going to have a path that sort of goes like this. And I'm going to drop a little bit of yellow on this side. Everything else is going to kind of start to turn into a brown orange color. And yeah, it'll just keep going like that. And then you can rinse your brush so that there's only water on it, and sort of blend the two parts together so that the pathway is nice and bright. And I'm going to switch again to my smaller brush. I'm going to pick up some brown, and we're going to paint just a line across our horizon line. We can add some more pigment on the sides here. And I also want to paint some trees. They can be evergreens, they can be a mixture, deciduous, whatever floats your boat. But they're going to be brown. I actually I want to make this look a lot more, not abstract, but just blurred out than it currently is. Because I don't want there to be those white gaps in between the pines. Oh, I like that. I like that the top is, you know, super detailed, and then because the bottom part is still wet, we're kind of doing wet, wet, and wet, and it fades out a little bit. That's definitely the look I was going for, that I definitely would not have achieved if I continued the other method, so I'm happy that I switched gears. And I like that I have 2 shades of brown. That's also quite nice. I should also take that darker brown and plop some more I don't even know what you'd call it, like darker sections along our pathway. Rinse the brush, fade it out a little bit in the places that it didn't do so naturally. And so while that is kind of drying and doing its thing, I do want to grab, I'm going to paint a tree over here, or branches of a tree. I'm going to start with yellow. I'm going to start lightest to darkest in colors, and I'm dabbing, like I picked up pigment and then I dabbed it on a paper towel so that my brush is like kind of dry. That's even too wet. So that when what is this method called again? Stippling, I believe. When I stipple, it creates this abstract leaf effect, because if I were to do that with like a full moisture, then it would kind of turn into these blob circles rather than this speckled kind of spread out look. I hope that makes sense. See, like there I had way too much on my brush and it didn't do that effect that I wanted. So I had to dry it even more. And I'm gonna take some like maroon color. Yep, that is too much. I really, really like the red, or the maroon. So I think I'm gonna leave it there. I'm gonna blow dry this, I believe, because the next few steps, like I need everything kind of to be dry. Okay, so hopefully, whoops, I knocked that with my head. Hopefully that's dry. I'm gonna paint the fence first and then we'll go back for the other stuff. So I'm taking black watercolor, mixing it with brown, which is kind of my standard color combo for fence post painting. And we're gonna have one fence starting here. The next post up here. So I purposely made these fence posts uneven looking because I really like the rustic look. And I'm going to join these guys. It's supposed to look like barbed wire, but I don't think I achieved that look very well. I'm gonna add one more fence post because this just looks a bit odd. I'm gonna come back to the fence in a moment, maybe add something else there, but before I do that, I'm going to just do the branches of this tree. So I'm gonna have a branch kind of coming down like this. Maybe another one, no. Okay. Not really my usual style, like usually I have some leaves overlapping that. So I'm gonna actually do that because I don't like how that looks. So I'll have some, I think I'll have to stick with the maroon because it's a little bit darker. Whoops. A little bit of overlap there. Not much, but it's something. I'm gonna take brown and I wanna create some grass. So kind of at each fence post, I'm gonna have, or try to have some grass strands poking through. Oops. Some random grassy patches on this field as well. And then I'll do the same on the other side here. Basically anywhere you have kind of a darker brown spot is where I would add a little bit of grass poking out of. I'm gonna take some silver, because I have a metallic silver, and I'm going to add that. And actually, no, that doesn't really show through. I'll probably take white acrylic paint to achieve that next part. But before I do that, I do want to maybe add some shadows to the fence posts. I I'm gonna have them going this way. I know it makes no sense because the brighter spot is kind of over here, but no, okay, I will have it going that way. So there we go. I think I should extend those. Let's see, what else can we do? So I'm gonna take that white acrylic paint, just a tad here. And I wanna add some highlights on the grassy strands. So some of my grassy strands will be white. And I also want to actually add a little highlight on each fence post. Now, there's something missing in this painting, and I feel like I see that in every single painting, but there's like some sort of intensity missing. I might just add like another fence post on this side. I wish I didn't put this there. I just did because the reference photo I'm looking at has that, but it doesn't look very good to me. Even in the reference photo, it doesn't look great, in my opinion. It's just the composition with the paint. Yeah, it just didn't work for, it doesn't work for me, but it's too late. What I'm going to try and do is maybe have just like a random tree growing. Ugh, that does not look good. I wish I didn't do that. Maybe if I thicken it. So my phone just ran out of memory again. So I'm going to try and finish this up fairly quickly. I'm going to have another tree just coming out here. Doesn't really make sense, but, and the proportion is totally off. I should have just had like two going straight up. Oh well. I'll also have a random branch across here. Oh my gosh, I got acrylic paint on my sweater. I need to go to sleep. think I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm not a fan of this painting. I don't like how it turned out. I wish I did not add this in the corner. I wish I didn't add this. But it is what it is. I'm gonna peel the tape off and call it a day. So I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Let me know what you think in the comments. Don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next tutorial.